What is going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. We've got lots to cover today. I do feel like the market is kind of splitting into two camps right now. Some thinking that it's going to crash, some thinking that it's going to not, and it's going to keep going. A lot of people are reluctant to buy in at some of these all-time high prices. I'm going to give you my full opinions on all of this and all of the best plays in the market right now. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. We're going to start off with Ascended Heroes because it's the most recent set that's out. Unfortunately, I can't really go too much into the data because the only product that's really floating around are the three like blister pack tech stickers, and they're going for such a crazy premium of price. Next week, however, we will get the Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer boxes hitting the market. They are due to come out on Friday the 20th, I believe. So that's going to be really good for the market because it means that there will actually be a more viable way to actually get product. Now, I'm not sure how many of these Elite Trainer boxes are going to be about. I'm sure, obviously, with the popularity of the set and the shortness of supply recently, I mean, it's been such a shambles of a release. I don't think that they sort of would have ever chosen to plan to do it this way if they didn't have a choice. It's just been an absolute shambles. It really has been. So seeing Elite Trainer boxes hitting the market on Friday next week will be a really positive thing. Me, I'm really not in a rush to buy any Ascended Heroes. I think the set looks cool, and I think there's been a lot of like supply issues and stuff like that. But I'm personally just going to wait a little while. There's some much safer plays to make in the meantime. Like I said, I think prices are going to be really overinflated because the people that do manage to get their hands on this next Friday, I think they're just going to eat up the supply because people are going to see it as an opportunity to scalp it and upsell it. And obviously, a lot of the other boxes are going to get opened. You know, the rip and shippers are going to be super happy, be buying stuff out at way above market as well. So, me personally, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until the bundles come out next month as well. And then we can do a bit more analysis on what's going on with Ascended Heroes. But I'm not in a rush to get into it. If you want to queue up or you want to try and get like first in line at your LCS and try and pick one of these up for retail, if your local store's doing an event, I don't think you lose. I think you do really well in the long term. I think any Pokemon product at retail at the moment is a good play, to be honest, in the long term. And Ascended Heroes is a good set. I'm not saying it's not. It's just, it's very hard for me to do an analysis without any release data yet, and with just this mess of what's going on with the release schedule and the amount of products out right now. But more products hitting the market on Friday, so that's a positive thing. Before I move on with the other sets, I really wanted to just start to talk about sort of where the market is at the moment. And I want to start doing that more at the start of my videos and really like lead into what the title of this video and the thumbnail is all about. Okay, so the Pokemon market at the moment is kind of split in half. There's kind of two camps of people at the moment, where you have the camp of people who are thinking it's all going to go to MSRP and won't really buy a set unless it's over MSRP, and they fully admit that there are sets like, for example, Destined Rivals and stuff like that. They know that it's a good set. They know that it's one of the best sets that's been out in the last couple of years, but they refuse to buy any of it to hold because they don't see the price as sustainable. They think there's only one direction that price is going to go. And Destined Rivals is heavily inflated, way above retail price. And a lot of people don't want to spend that money because they see it as too risky moving into it. Now, there's another camp of people which are perhaps less vocal online, more of a minority within the industry, which is people like me who see the prices of stuff right now, your Ascended Heroes, your Paldea Evolved, your 151, and you think, well, there's only one direction that's going to go in the long term. Even if prices, or sorry, even if Pokemon Company continue to print these sets like Destined Rivals, I really don't think it's going to affect the price long term. And I've always got a long-term mindset in mind. I'm always looking at holding it for multiple years. And I don't think you lose with stuff like Destined Rivals, even if you're buying in at $500 a box. Like, the reason why the price is that high is twofold. One, there was never the big restock or resupply booster boxes, so there's scarcity on the supply. And two, it's the FOMO of the set. Like, take the set out of the equation completely, okay? It could be any set. When you have this much hype behind a set and this much FOMO behind a set, it's just going to continue to run, okay? The fact that the data alone shows such a steep increase in price for such a relatively new set, it really doesn't matter how much they print of it. Okay, they could attempt to print it into the ground and it's not going anywhere near the ground, because people, like the whole industry, the whole hobby of sealed collecting, sealed investing, even people who vend or own stores, it's all about perceived value of a product. Something is worth what the market is willing to pay for it. And if all of a sudden Destined Rivals gets like a big print run and it starts dropping down 10%, 20%, the brakes go on, because everyone just buys it out because they see it as an insane opportunity to get into a set that they couldn't afford to before, or they didn't want to because they thought that the price point was too high. And then that's when Camp 1 starts buying out the product as well. If the expensive stuff now drops 20%, it's still way over retail, okay? And we'll take Destined Rivals as an example, or Phantasmal Flames, or any of these sets that are popular that are way over retail. If it drops 10-20%, it's not just Camp 2 that know that this is going to be a good hold long term that are going to buy it out. You start to get Camp 1 that are buying it out. The people who didn't want to buy it out because they're like, there's no way the price doesn't drop on that. As soon as the price starts dropping, the amount of people trying to buy it just goes insane. We saw that with Prismatic Evolutions. We saw that they could print as much of it as they liked, and it struggled to dip below $100 an ETB, which was really quite crazy to see. I'm definitely in Camp 2. We are definitely a minority of people, and I'm not talking about any set in particular right now. But if you start looking at all of the best-in-class sets for any modern era of Pokemon right now, okay, you could talk about any of these sets. I'm not going to name them, but you can talk about any of the best top sets. And they are all trading for a massive premium, and they're all pushing all-time highs. Me personally, I have no problem entering the market now and increasing my position at all-time high prices, because I just don't see it dropping more than 20%. And that's even if that worst case scenario happens, that they turn the printers on and they run them 24/7 for the next 6 months to a year. I still don't see it dropping below 20% on what it is right now for the best in class sets. And then what do you think's going to happen when that stuff starts going out of print in a year's time, in 2 years' time? The price is going to be shifting to more all-time highs. If they don't get the reprints on any of these sets, if we don't see big reprints of Destined Rivals, of Prismatic Evolutions, you're going to miss the play, because it's just going to keep going from where it is right now. Anyway, that's where I think the market is right now. Full transparency, I bought some Destined Rivals yesterday, booster boxes, top of the market, okay? More than double what I bought them for on release. So I am fully expecting Destined Rivals to push up into the multiple $1,000s a box within the next few years. So for me, loading up at 400 quid, $500, I'm more than happy to carry on stacking them to the ceiling. And it's really important to realize which camp you're in. Whether you're in the camp that's willing to pay all-time highs now because you see where it's going in the future, or whether you're in camp 2 that you're chasing retail. And I tell you what, there are products that are cheap, relatively, like Surgeon, like Journey, all those kind of sets that are closer to retail. One of my local card stores has got Surging Sparks for sale today on a restock for retail. Am I there? No, I'm here instead. I bought Destined yesterday. There are way too many people, and it is the majority of the people in the market that are wanting to buy sealed product. The majority of those people that are wanting to hold it and make profit misunderstand the market. They are looking for the cheapest entry point into any product. And they are actively passing on Phantasmal Flames, Prismatic Evolution, Destined Rivals, because they think that it's going to get cheaper in the future, and they would much rather move into Surging or Journey or something like that because it's closer to the retail price. Okay? The big misconception there comes from the kind of environment that we've had over the last 12 months. Over the last 12 months in the sealed Pokemon space, you could buy anything and it increased in value. You could buy any set of any era and it increased in price over the last 12 years. When I say any era, I mean anything of the modern era, XY evolutions onwards. Basically everything went up. Everything went to gold. So you could buy the worst sets, get into them at the cheapest price possible, and you would make money and make the play. So I can see where people are coming from. And I've been doing this a long time, and I'm telling you, that is the beginner mentality of sealed investing. Everyone starts that way. They think that if I just buy at retail price, there's no risk and I don't lose. Okay, yeah, you will make money in the long term, but you will miss out on some of the best opportunities in the market. Okay, you would have passed on Evolving Skies when it was $300. You would have passed on Evolving Skies when it was $600. You would instead have been buying into Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles, Darkness Ablaze. Okay, and I'm not saying this to be mean. Okay, I used to have that mentality as well. Okay, it is something that you go through, and when you've seen multiple market cycles, you see things differently. It will become more and more important as time goes on to be into the best in class sets. Okay, yes, you can try and time the market and think that, oh, Destined is going to drop in value and I'll wait until it's MSRP. You're going to miss the play. I don't think Destined Rivals is ever going to be MSRP. I don't even think it's possible at this point. It's too far gone. Destined Rivals, whether you think the set is good or not, take the set out of the equation. Okay? Again, people are so obsessed with how the set is, what the cards are like in the set. It becomes a point where that doesn't even matter anymore. When you have a box like Destined Rivals, there's too much hype behind it. There's too much perceived value. There could be no hits in that set, and if the data has done what the data has done and increased that high in price and pushed up over some of the top sets of the previous era, okay, Destined Rivals is more expensive than Silver Tempest right now. Silver Tempest is a top 5 set from Sword and Shield. What does that tell you? It doesn't matter whether you think, oh, the Mewtwo card isn't enough to carry the set. It already has carried the set. It's already happened. It already has that perceived brand value, and everyone's FOMOing into it. I would welcome a massive reprint of Destined Rivals. That's not a bad thing. Even though I hold a lot of Destined Rivals, that's not a bad thing. I would love to see the price drop down another $100, $200. I'd just buy more of it. Let's move on with the video. Okay. We're going a bit crazy. We're going on a rant. We're on tab 2 and we've been recording for a little while there. This might be a bit of a long episode again. But I'm just trying to share my knowledge with you guys. I really am. And I'm being fully transparent. I'm buying Destin Rivals right now at the top of the market when I can go out today, this morning, and buy Surging for retail. But I refused it. And I'm not saying Surging's a bad play. I would just much rather spend my money building up a generational position. Okay, I'm gonna make so much stinking cash off of Destined Rivals because I'm gonna hold that until it's 10k a box, and even at 10k a box, I might not sell it then. Okay, I wouldn't even call it a mistake. I made a play on Evolving Skies. Okay, I had a lot of Evolving Skies at one point. I now only have a couple of boxes. Do I regret making that play? No, because I never have seller's remorse, because I made a lot of money on it and I rolled that profit back into buying more sets. I used that to buy a load of Twilight Masquerade when it was underpriced, when it was sub-retail. I've more than doubled my money on that as well. Has Destined Rivals doubled in price again? Yes, so I would have made about the same if I'd have stayed in Evolving, but where's Evolving going long term? Do you see what I mean? Like, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Okay, it makes no odds whether that was a good play or not. However, I do feel like I would have been happier if I'd have just kept more of my Evolving Skies. And that's obvious to say in hindsight, but at the time, when you 4x, 5x, 6x your position, and you can see a good set like Twilight Masquerade pre-ordering for 30% below retail, it made sense to liquidate some of that and move into that. And I'm happy and I made money. But I'm not making that same mistake with Destined Rivals. I'm telling you, people are so obsessed with the fact that, oh, Destined Rivals has to become, $300. There's no way it can keep at $500. It's in print for another 2 years. It's got to get mass reprinted and stuff like that. Even if it drops to $300, who cares? That box is going over 5k a box. It's going over 10k a box. Yeah, it might take 10, 20 years for it to get there, but it also might not. It's the fastest growing booster box of all time. Just a bit of perspective into my headspace at the moment. Okay, Phantasmal Flames continuing to increase in price. Okay, actually, technically, I don't think it has increased this week. It's like holding. The chart is broken on TCG Player and there's so many sales you can't see back. But I can tell you from looking at my video last week that it was last sale, like, I think it was 290 with an average of like 285. Last sale now is like 290 as well. It's kind of flat this week, but last week we were seeing 1 odd sale, 2 odd sales at 290. Now we're seeing multiple sales up in that range. That's 4 boxes from this morning going for over 290, and then activity all throughout the last couple of days: 280, 280, 280, 280, 291, 286, 286, 290. So no longer are we in last week's position where we've got 1 or 2 odd sales at that 290 range. Now we're seeing market is 290. That is, and if you get anything cheaper, then you're doing well. 290 is crazy for what is essentially the last released booster box in the market. Also, the set that the majority of people said was rubbish, easy to pull Charizard, short set, not worth the money. I was telling everyone, guys, I was calling it early that Phantasmal's going to be a monster. It's just easy to see. That Charizard is such a good play. And like, shout out to some other content creators that made this comparison the other day as well. Look at Obsidian Flames. Look at the price of Obsidian Flames now. Everyone said that was an awful set when it came out. It had 1 Charizard carry. The Charizard isn't even that great of a card compared to the Phantasmal Charizard. And that's still like over $300 a box. Phantasmal is a monster set. And again, I hold a lot of it. I bought into it really cheap. And it's now holding at $280. Let's put things into perspective. What else can you buy for $280? Journey's cheaper than that. Surging's cheaper than that. Paradox is cheaper than that. Temporal's cheaper than that. Like, what are we talking about, guys? This set just came out. And it's pushing up to nearly $300 a box within a few months. It's a good hold long term. Yeah, they might do some reprints of it and some restocks of it. Great. Buy some more of it. Increase your position. There is no way when, like, people are so obsessed with where the box is going to be in 2 months' time, where the box is going to be in 3 months' time. Guys, look at 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now. Do you really think when Phantasmal Flames has been out of print for 3 years that it's going to be less than $2.92 a box? Zero chance. Zero chance. And I'm more than happy to put money into that now at that price point and sit on it for 3-4 years. Easy. I'm telling you, once you've been doing this a while, 3-4 years is no time at all. You put this in the back of a closet in a storage box, and 4 years, watch how quickly those years whiz by. Before you know it, that's pushing $500 a box. It could even push $500 a box before it's even out of print. I wouldn't even be surprised. The fact that it's nearly $300 now, and that is if there's big reprints of it and big restocks of it. And I don't see that happening. I mean, yeah, we will get more supply, but these waves, it's not like going to be a constant thing. It's not just going to be sat around on shop shelves. Okay? You're going to get waves of it in the future, and they're going to get eaten up, and the price is just going to recover and bounce back. And it's not going to take long for it to happen. I really do think that the majority of the market doesn't know what's about to happen in the next couple of years with sealed collecting and investing. Sealed is going to go bananas, especially Scarlet and Violet era. And I think Mega Evolution era is going to do well as well. But Scarlet and Violet era boxes, they're shaping up to do some serious things. There's a lot of people thinking that things are really overpriced and top of the market, and technically it's still in print and stuff like that. But I don't know, guys. Like, I think we're just getting started. I think there's going to be a lot of people in 5 years from now thinking back to this moment when they could scoop up Phantasmal Flames for under $300 and thinking, why didn't I listen to that guy? He was just trying to help me. Oh my gosh, he was right. The amount of people that tell me that I was right about Phantasmal on release. But what did I get? I got so much hate and so much abuse, and you're stupid and your views on Phantasmal aren't right and stuff like that. It doesn't matter whether you think I'm right or not. I'm putting this information out there. You can use it if you want, or you can not if you don't want. I'm just here trying to help people and give an honest perspective of someone who's been doing this a long time, and I can see these trends happening and I read the data. Okay, I'm not just basing this, I haven't just come along in the last 6 months and I'm just basing this on what the rest of the market thinks. I've been doing this a very long time, and I'm genuinely just trying to help people. Let's all get rich together. Subscribe down below to, I guess, get rich together. To never miss an opportunity. Right. Last sold. Phantasmal. Let's find it. Where was it? 265. 265 on a buy it now. 274 on a new listing tag. So bought out straight away yesterday. $274 for the set that everyone said was garbage, and it's a short set and the Charizard can't carry it. Those same people that say that kind of thing are the same people that are trying to justify it now, and will now change their opinion and will now say, oh yeah, but it's a brand new set, it's going to get printed into the ground. I'm sick of hearing all these excuses and all this nonsense. Just read the data, okay? It is an incredibly popular set. The price is a reflection of how popular it is. Take my opinions out of it. Just look at the data. $274, and it doesn't matter whether it increases in price or decreases in price over the next month, 2 months. It doesn't matter. Phantasmal Flames, you buy it and you hold it for multiple years. And this pushes up over 500, then it starts going to 800, then it starts going to 1,000. We see it in every single era. It's a repeating cycle. Buy the best in class stuff, guys. Last sold, eBay UK, 230. Let's move on. Sometimes, like, it comes across like I'm ranting and stuff like that, but it's not. I'm just passionate about this, and I'm trying to, like, some of you guys get it, okay? If you watch this channel, you're already way ahead of everyone else, okay? If the algorithm has brought you to this channel, even better, if you're a subscriber and you've been watching a while, you know what I'm talking about, okay? The passion and the energy isn't for you guys, okay? You guys already know that what I'm talking about makes sense. I'm trying to hit the masses, the new people to doing this thing, and I'm trying to share knowledge like I have been since the channel started, okay? Trying to time everything to MSRP does work. It is a good play. I get that. That is probably a very low risk play, and I get that people want to put their money in the most low risk thing, okay? But also, sometimes the most obvious play is the best in class stuff. Read the data. The stuff that's generally performing well price wise will continue to perform well, and I'm telling you, it will get more and more important as time goes on to be in the best in class sets. I'm doing it myself. I'm starting to liquidate some of my older stuff, maybe some of the stuff that has performed well over time, over the years, but I'm moving into the best in class stuff now because we are entering a new era of sealed investing where the best in class Scarlet and Violet stuff and Sword and Shield stuff is going to go insane. It's all going to the moon, guys. It really is. Let's move on. Mega Evolution. Another perfect example. I've been saying over the last few weeks, Mega Evolution is a sleeper set, and it was looking cheap. Mega Evolution over the last few weeks was one of the cheapest booster boxes you could get in any era, any modern era, which was crazy. And there hasn't been a big resupply or restock. In fact, there's barely any of these booster boxes available out in the wild. I would be surprised to see a booster box on a shelf somewhere. I mean, yes, you'll see it, but it will be for full market in an LCS. You're not getting this for retail. And the price is starting to reflect it. The price is climbing. Last week, it was averaging 253. Just hit 290, guys. Multiple sales at 290 today. And I tell you what, this is breaking out live. This is a live price breakout because look, on the 12th, which was 2 days ago, it was still going for 240. Now it's going for 290. In the last 2 days, it is live breaking out as I'm bringing you this video. And I called it. I called it to you. Look back 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago in the videos. I told you Mega Evolutions is incredibly underpriced. And look, it's breaking out on TCG Player here. Look, 290 a box. Let's just calculate that out. Right, so the average will be fair, 253, and it's just gone for 290. So that is 37? 37 on 253. What is that? 37 divided by 253. 14% it's rose on the average price chart. And it's gone up even more on what the actual sales data was from the last sale last week. That's absolutely nuts, guys. Mega Evolution breaking out, as it should, but climbing up over 290? Again, Mega Evolution, more expensive now than Surging, Journey, Temporal, Paradox. Like, I don't know, guys. I think people are sleeping on these sets. And I think this is what I'm saying. What camp are you in? Are you in camp A, that you think everything's overpriced and it's only going to fall? Or are you in camp B, that yes, things are pushing all-time highs, but I'm willing to hold this for a couple of years because I know what these sets are going to do in the next 5 years. In the next 5 years, there's no way Mega Evolution base is $280. There's no way. It's easily over $500. It could be pushing $1,000. I wouldn't even be surprised. Give it enough time to run. None of these sets, Mega Evolution, Phantasmal, Destined, none of them have had any time to run at all. And they're already pushing up over some of the Scarlet and Violet boxes. And the Scarlet and Violet boxes as well. The end of the era ones, they're still in print as well. They haven't even had their time to run out of print yet too. What do you think's going to happen to this Scarlet and Violet era and this Mega Evolution era? Honestly, guys, it's just time. Time, patience. We're seeing a massive explosion in price in what is new sets. It's nuts. It really is. We haven't seen this really before, ever. On like multiple sets that have just come out and the price is just doing insane things like this. Like almost jumping up 2x over retail. Destined is just flying away right now. That's why I'm still buying Destined. Like it is, I called Destined from the early days that it was going to perform well because it was obvious. It was obvious. It's got the iconography. It's a Team Rocket set. It's got the hype behind it. It was obvious it was going to do well. Okay. But this well, to be the fastest growing booster box of all time, I think it is of all time. I'm not 100% sure on it, but if it's not, it's very close. I know Skyridge did very well out of the gate. I don't know. I'd have to go back through and look at some historic data. Full transparency, when I really got into sealed investing was XY Evolutions, end of the XY era. Now, there's people that have been doing it longer than me. There's people that have been doing it a lot shorter amount of time than me. But everything sort of pre-XY Evolutions, I'm not a massive expert on. I'm still learning every day as well. So not a huge expert on that. So don't take my like full gospel on Destined Rivals is the best performing booster box of all time. It could be for the amount of time that it's at. If not, it's very, very close in price. And I don't think it's going to slow down. I really don't think. People are going to FOMO into this so hard. Because part of it, for those of you who aren't aware, is Pokemon Company really messed things up with Destined Rivals. Okay, there was never the big restock of the booster boxes. Their entire focus for around about that time when it came out was on Prismatic Evolutions and trying to print that into the ground. They tried their hardest to get Prismatic down to retail and they didn't succeed. Anyway, Mega Evolution, people are sleeping on it. It's up over 14% over the last week. More expensive now than some of the SV boxes. I think it will continue as well. And like I said, it's a live price breakout. This is all happening in the last 48 hours. I'm bringing you the exclusive before anyone else is. Who else is telling you online right now that Mega Evolution base is breaking out? Okay, I'm calling it now for you. And people will copy, and that's fine. I don't mind that other channels will copy what I've said. I'm here to... Like, I don't watch a lot of other people's channels, okay? I'm just here for you and me. I'm sat here in a room on my own, doing my own data analysis that I would have been doing anyway. I'm just sharing it with you guys each and every week. Each and every Saturday, I will tell you what's going on. And I was shocked to see this as well. I didn't know this until I started running the data this morning for this video that Mega Evolution is breaking out. And I tell you what, eBay hasn't caught up yet either. Look at this. Sale from this morning. Enhanced box, $234. eBay hasn't caught up yet. And this is the good thing about Buy It Nows. And channels like this, where I'm looking at the whole market. I'm not just focusing on the big boys. I end up catching plays like this and I just share them with you. That's why you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. I don't know how many times I have to say that tagline. And it's not just a tagline or a slogan. It's legit. It's true. Like, I will give you these opportunities. Right now, you can buy this morning Mega Evolutions for below market because the market has moved, and the people who already had to buy it now, so they set it up a day ago, two days ago, they haven't adjusted their prices yet. Mega Evolution base is breaking out right now. Last sold, eBay UK. Look at this, new listing tag. Yesterday, sub 200 quid a box. Again, one of the cheapest boxes in the era. You can't get much else under 200 quid right now in the UK. Right, Destined Rivals. I feel like, again, I say this every week, I could talk about Destined Rivals for a whole video on its own. I talked about it a lot at the beginning of this video. Okay, I've said I've bought a couple of booster boxes of it yesterday at the top of the market. I still got a good deal on them. I paid 400 quid each for them, but I used trade from some older stuff that I've had for a long time. Destined Rivals then. Destined Rivals, you look at the chart, you're like, oh no, it's dipping down in price. It is consolidating a little bit. It's still up there at all-time highs and an insane price. Last week, it was averaging 566. This week, last sales, 558. So it's technically down $8. What, like 1.2%, 1.3%? Right up there at all-time highs. And I won't talk about Destined Rivals for a long amount of time because I've talked about it a lot at the start of this video. I think it's a very good buy. I think it's a monster set. There's no way this doesn't go over multiple thousands of dollars a box. Okay, this will be a $2,000 box, then a $3,000 box and beyond. It's just the time horizon is a question mark. Okay, it could easily take 5-6 years for it to get to that level. I am more than happy to hold Destined Rivals for that amount of time. If it dips down in price at any point over those next 5 to 6 years, I do not care. I will buy more of it. If the price continues to increase in price steadily over the next 5 to 6 years, I do not care. I will continue to buy more of it. Destined Rivals, no. Let me rephrase that. Evolving Skies was the blueprint. I did well out of Evolving Skies. I wish, like a lot of people would have, that I'd have bought more of it when it was cheap. I'm sure a lot of people think that way. I did buy a decent amount of it though, because I believed in it. Destined Rivals, I won't make that same mistake again. Destined Rivals, I will continue to buy it. I will continue to allocate any spare money I have over the next 5 years into Destined Rivals product. Once I start getting priced out of the booster box, once it's in the multiple thousands, I will move on to sleeve packs, loose boosted. I don't care. I will continue to stack Destined Rivals product until it is over $10,000 a box. I do honestly think it will get there. I really do. It might take 10 years, might take 20 years. Doesn't matter. I've got the time. I'm willing to wait. Last sold eBay US 519 is really cheap. Is that dented on the top there? Yeah. A crushed box. And this isn't too bad, but it's not a minty box. It's had some weight on it on the top there. That is quite a bad crush. But as long as the seal's intact, that's fine. 519. Okay. More expensive than any other booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era. And that's a damaged one, technically. An undamaged one, 550. 555 new listing tag. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Look at the ETB as well. $177 for the normal ETB that was what on release? $55, $60, something like that. Absolutely crazy, guys. I am so happy to buy Destined Rivals at the top of the market right now. I will happily pay $550 for it. Any day of the week. If I've got the money, I'm doing it. That 555 is best offer accepted. That one on the new listing tag. So I don't know what that one went for, but that one is a legit one, 550. Most expensive box of the era. More expensive than Paldea Evolved, that's going out of print in April. Paldea Evolved is officially out of print in April, out of rotation. And one of the most recent Scarlet and Violet boxes is pushing, it's nearly $100 more. It's absolutely disgusting. That's the Crush box. Last sold, eBay UK. $4.14 a box. This one is a fake box. I mean, you can tell they're trying to charge 146 quid. I looked at it very briefly. FYI, that is not meant to look like that. There's not meant to be a texture behind that there. And I've just noticed as well, no register mark on the Pokemon text as well. Usually you get the little R as well. That's another good sign to look out for. Now, I'm not saying fake boxes can't have the little R, but if it doesn't have the little R, it's a definite sign. And yeah, this texturing on this texture pattern on the white on the back here is just not how it looks. People always ask me, like, oh, can you do a video on, like, how you know it's a fake box and stuff like that? Like, there's so many telltale signs that it's no one in particular thing. Okay? Instantly, when I looked at this before the video, I saw the texture. Well, first thing you want to look at is the price. Okay? If the price is way off, then it's definitely a fake. Next thing, look at Matey's feedback. Okay? 42% feedback. He's only done like 2 sales as well. I think when I looked briefly on this first page, he was like, yeah, he's -1 feedback, which is ludicrous that he's even allowed to sell on eBay. He's clearly a scammer. Price is a big giveaway, texture on the background, and then as I've looked into it more, we're seeing more faults. You know, the no R on the Pokemon. Should we have another look at it, see if we can see anything else obvious that's fake? Nice big tear on the seam. Nice. Okay. Okay, look at this. Look at the packs in here. It doesn't even look like there's packs inside it. This is so bad. What even is this? Like, it looks like one giant brick of something. Probably just like loose paper on the inside. I feel sorry for whoever bought this. Someone probably bought this for their kids, or maybe it's the first time they're buying into Destin Rivals. Like, honestly, eBay, just give me the power. If there's anyone from eBay here, I will quite happily work for free authenticating boxes online from photos. Okay? Just give me the power. I'll do it on my own time. Every time I see a fake box and I know it's a fake box like this, just give me the power to ban their account. Just do it, eBay. Like, honestly. Oh dear. Anyway, last sold UK. 414. 430. I'm telling you, these are going to look cheap soon. These are going to look real cheap soon. And it doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter if in 6 months from now you can get it for 475 and you save yourself 40 quid. You save yourself 10%. Who cares? Like, that's probably not going to happen. And B, you're probably going to miss the play. It's more likely that these are over 500 quid in a couple of months' time. That's a more likely scenario. I'm not a gambling man. I mean, we kind of all are doing what we do. But I would not bet that Destin Rivals 6 months from now is cheaper than it is now. I would not take that bet. Prismatic Evolutions. Let's move on. Prismatic. We've been saying this time and time again. It's one of the most obvious cheapest plays in the market. I don't understand people's mentality. Like, I really don't. Whenever there's product available and it's for a relatively low price. Now, I'm not saying $140 for an ETB is a cheap price, but in the grand scheme of things, it seems like it's cheap. It seems like there's a lot of it around, and it seems like it's only slowly growing in price. When you have those 3 things happening in the market, people don't want to buy it. People are just like, yeah, whatever. I got loads of time. Time goes by so fast in this hobby. I say it time and time again. Prismatic Evolutions is a snowball at the top of the mountain. It's gaining speed very slowly. You can buy into it now. while it's only going up $5-10 a week, or you can wait. You can wait like the rest of the market, the people in campaign, when it suddenly starts jumping $20 a week, $30 a week, $50 a week, because that will happen with Prismatic. Again, time horizon, I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a year from now it starts really moving. 2 years from now. Prismatic is a longer hold because of the market conditions. I think it will continue like this for a good while, where it just steadily climbs up in price. And I think it will continue to do that until it gets up to sort of $300, that kind of range. And that might take a year, it might take 2 years. But once people start realizing and the rest of the market starts waking up and everyone starts flooding into it, which they will FOMO into it. You've seen it with Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith was almost exactly the same thing. And I'm telling you, Prismatic is going to dwarf Crown Zenith in what it's done. Okay, Crown Zenith was a steady gainer. Crown Zenith is like $240 a box now. People were moaning when it was $100. Oh, I won't ever buy it for $100. I'm used to seeing it on Costco shelves for $70, $60. Prismatic is the same. Okay, the majority of the market thinks that it's going to be around forever, but it's already left the station. Look, it's already starting to move. It's like a train. It's like a locomotive. It starts off slow. It's just going to get faster and faster and faster. Prismatic is one of the most obvious cheaper plays to buy into right now. Last week, it was $142. This week, $160. Up $18. That's like 11-12% in 7 days. And it's just going to continue to go, guys. I'm telling you, last sold eBay US, $130. Last sold eBay UK, 130 quid. Journey Together. Journey Together, there's quite a bit of it about in the UK right now. We're seeing restocks of it right now. And there's more Journey than Surgeon restocks right now. And the destined restocks that are going to come in the next few months, it's going to come in 2 waves, are tiny compared to these Journey and Surgeon restocks. That's just in the UK. I don't know what's going on in the US. I've had nothing confirmed about restocks in the US. Journey Together, again, like, we kind of called it that when it was like $250, we're like, yeah, that's a good price for it. $240 is a good entry point for any booster box. And it does have room that it could fall. The potential downside, it could fall down to $240 range. But the potential upside in the long term is a lot more. Me personally, though, like I said, guys, I'm moving away from trying to make all these plays and trying to time the cheaper boxes at like the lowest point in the market. I'll still point those plays out to you because there's a lot of people that still want to make those kind of plays. But for me, I'm investing in the big boys right now, and I'm paying top of the market. I'm paying all-time high prices. I'm not trying to play this game of trying to get the cheapest box in the era. Okay, I will still point those out to you, those cheap boxes, because I know a lot of people do want to come in at a cheaper price point on stuff like Journey and stuff like that. And that is a play, and it is a pretty safe play. So, and I will always point plays out to you whether I agree with them or not. Okay, 248 last week. 257 this week. 260. It's around that 240, 250, 260 sort of range. I think that's fine for Journey. We could see some more restocks of it in the US over the coming year or so. I don't think it will be anything significant, though. I don't see them doing a mass reprint and leaving the printers on for Journey Together. I don't see it happening. I think it will steadily climb up in price. I don't think you're going to get it much cheaper. Like I said, potential downside, it could potentially drop as low as 240. So you could have a 10% on the downside, but then the potential upside is so much higher. As long as you're willing to hold it for a while, I think that Journey pushes up over $500 a box pretty comfortably, but not quickly. Okay, a couple of years, I think it will push up over $500 a box. I think it will be a top 5 set of Scarlet and Violet. Last sold, eBay US. Look, you're getting deals here. $224? That's really cheap. Really, really cheap. Last sold eBay UK. This is what I'm talking about. There's the restock. They're just available for retail right now. So you're going to get some scalpers. You're going to get some people that are just dumping them for retail as well. Look at this, 161 quid. That's the cheapest it's been for a while. But like I said, there's a few out in the wild this week and next if you're in the UK. Same with Surging. Surging Sparks. Last week, 278. I said it was a little bit overpriced. Last sold 261, 263. It's come down a little bit. Not a huge amount though. Again, potential downside could drop as low as 240. Could drop 10% down. Potential upside, again, I think this is a $500 box given enough time. Give it 18 months to 2 years. I think it's pushing $500. Double your money in 2 years. Not a bad play. If you're in the UK, there's restocks of it hitting stores this week. Not a huge amount, but there are restocks of it. $250 in the US. Not a bad price point to enter if you're in the US. $250. Like I said, potential downside could drop as low as $240. But that kind of entry point for Surgeon, I think you double your money in a couple of years. Last sold, eBay UK, 193. Cheap. 151. Elite Trainer Box. Kind of chilling this week, but consolidating at all-time highs. Nothing to worry about. $441 last week, $440 this week. A couple of sales at $450. Yeah, right up there at all-time highs. If we zoom out, you can see it's pushing up over all-time highs. So for it to have another week, just confirming that the 450 range is where it should be at, really positive, poised to continue to grow. I think this ETB goes over $1,000 given enough time. Again, this isn't goes $1,000 overnight. This is a hold it for multiple years. I think you double your money and it goes over $1,000. 151 goes out of print in April. I've said for a long time that we're not going to get any more Elite Trainer boxes. We're definitely not going to get any more now. Even if we did, it's not going to move this price at all. Everyone's just going to buy them out instantly. Last sold eBay US, right on that $400 mark. Could chill at $400 for the next couple of months. Not even couple of months. Couple of weeks. Could be at 400. Might dip down a little bit. Might consolidate down a bit. But again, long term, I think it just keeps climbing. 151. Last sold eBay UK 333. 317. Just looks cheap to me. I know it's a really expensive booster box. Look at this, 280. Oh yeah, that's January. Yeah, last sold 280 then. Yeah, I think it just looks cheap. It really does. For 280 for a nice sealed Elite Trainer box. Nice. Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates is pushing all-time highs again as well. I don't think it's really moving again this week. All-time high is 291. Last week it was at, let's see, 298. Now it's 303. So it's gone up about $5. It's gone up about 1.5%, something like that. Again, don't think you're going to see any more of this. Paldean Fates. I try and always think, and this is like an interesting mentality to have with any kind of investment, any kind of like, basically anything in life. This is like a really weird mindset I'm going to talk about now. And it's things that I think a lot of people don't think about. And I'm going to sound really weird when I say this. But what I try and think about is today, current day, is the past of the future. And I know that sounds really weird. But people don't pay enough attention that today is 10 years ago from 10 years time. Okay, before you know it, 10 years will have passed and we'll be thinking back to this time when we're looking at prices now and you're sat watching my video and Paldean Fates is under $300 a box. I know this because I've been sealed investing for 10 years now, 10 years this year. And at the time when I started buying Sun and Moon sealed, XY Evolution booster boxes sealed. It just felt like present day then, because it was. You don't think about the future, or you might think, oh yeah, I'll hold this for a couple of years. You don't think about how you're going to think in 10 years' time looking back, okay? We are living in tomorrow's past right now. You have the opportunity to get into these boxes of any of these sets right now for prices at a tiny fraction of what they're going to cost in 10 years' time. These boxes are going to cost an insane amount of money. And I try and think, what are the most iconic things? What are the most displayed things? What are the things that there were a least amount of stock of? I think Palday and Fate's Elite Trainer box is one of the best looking Elite Trainer boxes. You don't have the booster box either. You've got two of the most iconic cards as well. I think Bubble Mew is going to be one of the most iconic cards of, 5 years either way of it. So probably one of the top 10 cards of its decade. And there weren't a lot of these boxes around. Technically, it's still in print, even though there has been no reprints or restocks of these Elite Trainer boxes anytime soon. And if there has been, it hasn't been much. There's not a lot of these around now. What do you think it's going to be like in 10 years? I think Palday and Fates, the Elite Trainer box, is going to be really expensive. I think that this is going to be a collector's piece. And I could see it overtaking 151, given enough time. Just because it displays so well. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. Going off on a tangent there. Going off on PokePond story time. You know you love it. So yeah, kind of flat on $300, but at all-time highs. If you start zooming out and you try and look at like where this box is in 10 years' time, I couldn't even tell you. I would say it's in the multiple thousands. This could be, and this is a wild guess out there, this could be a $5,000 Elite Trainer box in 10 years. It could. I wouldn't even be surprised, especially the Pokemon Center exclusive. 5,000 is definitely possible. If I was going to say worst case scenario, it's at least $1,000. It's at least $1,000 in 10 years' time. At least. It's got to be. It's got to be pushing 2K. Worst case scenario. I don't know, guys. More and more I'm looking into the future and trying to see where these things are going to be. Last sold, eBay US, $274. I honestly think a lot of you guys are going to kick yourself for not buying these when they're this price. I could easily see that. Like, I'm just trying to imagine right now. I could easily see in a year's time squinting at that price, and that's $400. I could easily see that happening. And I know a lot of you guys could too as well. There you go. PCETB going for 400 as well. Last sold eBay UK, $219. Just looks really cheap to me. It really does. Especially when 151's up at $400. I think it will follow in the footsteps of 151. I really do. And overtake it eventually. Hot take. Paradox Rift, talking about hot takes. Make sure you unsubscribe if you like. No, I'm joking. If you like Paradox Rift, you're not welcome here. No, fully joking. Please don't. Why did I even say that? Last sold last week on the average is $258. A little bit overpriced, I think. Last sold though, $274. Going up there in price, up $16, which is like 6%, something like that. Quick maths. Increasing in price, we'll track it for you. Last sold eBay US, $250. I think that's more where it should be, $240, $250. I don't think that's a bad price point to buy into. Personally though, I'd rather buy Phantasmal Flames for that price. It's literally like the same price. I'd rather buy a Phantasmal Flames. Last sold eBay UK, $174. Like, only a little bit over retail. Definitely one of the cheapest boxes in the UK right now, unless you manage to hit the restock and get like a retail Journey or Surgeon. Temporal Forces. Temporal Forces last week was $269. Again, I think that's a little bit too expensive for it. Last sold $265. 260. I think 260 is fine for it. Last sold eBay US 280. Way too expensive. Is that a best offer? Let's have a look. I bet it is. Yeah, best offer. Sell before it 256 on a new listing buyout. Again, I don't think that's an awful price point. I think that is like $16 off of its potential lowest it's ever going to go. So it's not a bad opportunity to move in, but I'm just solely investing in the big boys for now, unless I see like a crazy deal. Last sold eBay UK 182. Does look cheap. Twilight Masquerade. I do think Twilight Masquerade is undervalued. We said it at this point here as well when it was sub 300 a box. We said that didn't make sense. It has slowly been climbing up since then, but I still think it's massively undervalued. It is going out of print soon. 317 last week. 309 now. 309, 309, 319, 318. Kind of just hovering at around that point. One sale there last week from 325. So it has come down a few dollars since last week. It's a sleeper set for sure. I mean, the Greninja's doing well. It's carrying the set, but when you look at like what else you can buy for that kind of money, $300, Twilight Masquerade isn't a bad play, and not a lot of people are looking at it right now. You might get yourself a deal on eBay. Last sold eBay US. There you go. 300 on the nose, 320 on a buy it now. Does look a little bit undervalued there. Last sold eBay UK 330, 340. I don't think you're going to get any more of these, so it's not a bad play. Paldea Evolved. I've told people don't underestimate Paldea Evolved. Just because Destined Rivals is running away, Paldea Evolved was the king for the longest time, and it is still the second most expensive box in the era. Paldea, I think, has a lot of room to grow. I think that it will start snapping on the heels of Destined again, and it will start pushing up over $500 a box soon. Last week it was $418. Now it's $450. Only one sale, but $450. Another sale on the 11th. So this week, another one for $448. I don't know, guys. I think it's got room to grow. Deals to be had on eBay at the moment. Some people dumping them. Look at this, 400. One bid. Last sold eBay US. When the rest of them are all going for $450. So someone got more than 10% off on that one because no one was looking at that auction. Don't discount Paldea Evolved. It's still the second most expensive box of the era. Last sold eBay UK 348, sorry. And another one going on an auction for 320. 320. Now we had a Twilight going for 320. And you can get a Paldea for 320 on an auction. I think that that's really cheap. That's a good opportunity. Now that I wouldn't mind investing into personally, because it is a best-in-class set. It really is. And it's got a lot of room to grow. Let's move on then. Let's talk about Sword and Shield. Let's start off with the King of the Jungle, Mr. Evolving Skies himself. Now, before we talk about Evolving Skies, let's talk about Sword and Shield as a whole. Not really moving right now. A lot of the sets, though, chilling at an all-time high. It's in a situation where smart money is buying it. The masses aren't buying it right now. It will have another run. It will continue to increase in price. It's just when. It's just a matter of time. That run might be in the summer. It might be at the end of this year. It might be next year. Okay? It will run at some point. I don't have a crystal ball. As much as people think that I do, I can't predict exactly when things are going to break out. All of Sword and Shield best-in-class sets, Evolving, Lost, Fusion, Brilliant, Silver, Chilling. All of them are going to have a good run, and Crown Zenith too. But I don't know when it is. They're all pretty flat this week though. No real change in price. Evolving Skies has had 1, 2, 3, 4 sales over the last week. All within $50 of $2,500. A few over, a few under. Last sale eBay US was 2 days ago. $2,400. About market. About what we would expect. But what we're seeing is a decrease this week in the amount being sold, which is interesting. And I think that will just... I mean, some weeks you'll have more that are sold, some weeks you'll have less that are sold. But the fact that these are all just kind of like finding their place now. Evolving sitting at 2,400, you know, Brilliant's sitting, Silver's sitting, all kind of where their market price is and selling for that, and there's not a huge amount of activity, it leads opportunity for volatile price action in the future. When there's not much being traded and they're being traded in a very tight range, it wouldn't take much for them to start moving. And when things start moving with Sword and Shield, you get the FOMO factor and everything just legs up. We saw that last year, a big leg up in price last summer. In fact, it was like last spring, wasn't it? Sword and Shield all had a big leg up on the price charts for all of the top 5-6 sets. I think we'll see that again. It's just a matter of time. But yeah, everything's pretty flat this week, but that's not a bad sign. Last sold eBay UK, 2,343 quid. And then someone hit one on an auction for just under 2,100, which is a really good deal. Fusion Strike, again, hasn't really moved. Flat on $1,000. Not a problem, nothing to be worried about. Yeah, all these Sword and Shield sets are just poised and in a good position to have a good move. Basically, the brakes are just on across all of Sword and Shield right now. That doesn't mean the train's going to not roll again in the future. It's almost definitely going to roll on the future. But the brakes are just on at the moment for this week. Last sale eBay US, someone got a good deal there, $8.90. So more than 10% off of market. Very nice. Last sold eBay UK, $7.20, right up there at all-time highs again in the UK. Lost Origin, slowly creeping up there in price, gaining about $10 a month. Like, it's so undervalued. It really is. It should be up at that $1,000 range as well. And I think if we have another good run on Sword and Shield at some point over this next year, I think it will start knocking on the door of $1,000 as well. Which will be, what, like a 30% increase on what it is now? I think it's 30% undervalued, personally. It's a good play to move into. 712 last week. This week's 724, up $10, which is like just over 1%. Just trickling away, just slowly climbing up. Last sold eBay US, $650. That's really cheap. That's a really good deal, in my opinion. Last sold eBay UK, $542. I'm just going to whiz through Sword and Shield because, like I said, it's not really moving this week. Brilliant Stars, flat at an all-time high, 570 sort of range, 573. Destined Rivals clipping on its heels, though. How crazy is that? How crazy that at the start, in February 2026, I would be saying that Destined Rivals is almost the same price as Brilliant Stars. Nuts. Silver Tempest, actually chilling at an all-time high, 470. Cheaper than Destined Rivals, apparently, which makes it a no-brainer play. It's just, I don't know, guys. If you're willing to, like, it's all about how much you zoom out. Because, like, if Silver's cheaper than Destined, then Silver makes more sense in, like, the 1 to 5 year time range. But when you start thinking about if you're going to hold Destined until it hits 10k, what hits 10k first, Silver or Destined? I don't know, guys. I think Destined might hit 10k before Silver does. I don't even know if Silver ever hits 10k. Silver might never hit 10k. I think Destined will, though. So, I don't know. Like, we're talking about such crazy numbers compared to their price now. I mean, you're talking about, like, a 20x on Destined. So, they may seem like hot takes right now, but we're talking, you know, figures that will take a decade plus to achieve, potentially. But it's fun. It's fun to speculate. Chillin' Rain. Again, chilling. 540 last week, 520 this week. Down a little bit. It's up and down. It's kind of chilling around that 500 mark. Again, Destined is more expensive than chilling right now. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Crown Zenith. Even Crown Zenith has got the brakes on. Crown Zenith, no move this week. At that 250 range still. 251. Few sales over the last week of 230 though. So you could probably get in for a good deal. But yeah, if Crown Zenith isn't moving in Sword and Shield, nothing's moving. Doesn't mean it won't, though. Let's finish off the episode with looking at what's been selling on eBay US. And I just wanted to point out how ridiculous this is. Going full circle, let's talk about Ascended Heroes and how much of a shambles their release is. Look at this. Tech sticker. Selling, all right, January 25th, so a couple of weeks ago. But look at this. $46 for a tech sticker 3-pack. They're now currently going for $32. Oh no, that's prismatic, sorry. Let's find what they're actually going for now. I did do a search here. Let's find $32. $35. So $32 for the tech sticker, which is, I don't even need a calculator for that. That is just over $10 a pack for Ascended Heroes in a tech sticker. If that doesn't tell you how much of a shambles a release this is, then I don't know what does. Looking forward for the ETBs hitting the market. Like I said, not in a rush to buy any, but they hit the market on Friday. If you can find any out in the wild, good for you. I think it's a really good play if you can get anything anywhere near retail. I think you're going to struggle though, unless you're willing to queue up in the cold. I definitely am not. I'll be waiting until the ETBs and the bundles are out. Before I go, I've got to do the promotions. Make sure you subscribe to the channel down below to never miss an opportunity. Please do hit the like button. It really does help me out. And if you've got this far in the video, come on guys, give me a little like. Make sure you follow the Instagram. Doing quite a lot of short form content on there at the moment. That is at PokePond1 on Instagram. We have the Join Club on YouTube as well. If you want to join, I will connect with you on Instagram and we will talk about anything Pokemon you like. That service is available if you want. Otherwise, all of my content is completely free. There is no requirement to pay me anything if you don't want to. You can be an absolute freeloader and spend all of your spare money on sealed product if you so wish. I will not be offended. Anyway, hope you guys all have a wonderful day and peace.